So now we're going to create our first ad. So what we're going to do is we'll go to our browser and visit business.facebook.com/ads manager. So it will load. So after loading, this is what your screen is going to look like if you've created an ad on Facebook before. If you've not created an ad on Facebook before, your screen is going to look a little bit different. In fact, it's going to prompt you to create a Facebook business account. So you will need to do that before you come back to this place. Now, once you are here, what you are going to do is you can see this green button that says create. This green button that says create. You have to click on it to create your ad. Now that you've clicked on it, you can see my screen is saying choose a campaign objective. Now there are so many objectives. There are so many Facebook campaign objectives you can choose from, depending on what you want to achieve. An objective is basically what the result you want to achieve. So Facebook campaign objective means the result you want your ad, your campaign to achieve. So there are so many of them. But based on my strategy, there are basically two that I use. And that two is engagement and conversion. There's a way I use them kind of combined. So I'm just going to show you how I go about two of them. So there are so many objectives here. As you can see, there is a brand awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, app install, video views, lead generation, messages, conversions, catalog sales, and traffic. So as the name sounds, that's actually the results they tend to give you when you use them for Facebook ad. Brand awareness, like if you move your mouse over each of these objectives, you are going to see an eye icon. So if you move your mouse over that eye icon, it will tell you what that objective does. So you can see brand awareness, show your ads to people who are most likely to remember them. You can see reach. Reach is basically when you want to create an ad that people get to see once. That's when you use reach. Traffic is basically when you want to drive traffic from Facebook to your website. Traffic is most ideal for news related websites or blogs. If you have a blog and you want to drive traffic from Facebook to your blog, traffic is the best. Engagement is basically when you want to get people to like, comment, or share your post, your ad, or whatever it is you are promoting. That's when you use engagement. App install is when you want people to install your app. Video views, when you want people to view your videos. So lead generation, when you want to collect people's data on Facebook, email, and the rest of them. Messages basically when you want to people to send you messages through your ad on Facebook. And Facebook usually show it to people that are always active on Messenger. Then conversions is when you want to make sales. Let's say you are selling something and you want to show it to people that are going to buy. That is when you use conversions. In most cases, it's actually the most expensive objective on Facebook. But that's when you want to make outright sales. That's when you use conversion. Then catalog sales. I haven't really dug deep into that. Use your target audience to show people ads with items from your catalog. Okay, you can create something like a catalog and then show that to your target. So store traffic is basically if you have a physical store. Let's say you have a shawarma spot and then you want to create an ad that will enable people to come to that your shawarma store and buy shawarma. That's when you use store traffic. So Facebook will basically, you put in your store address and everything, and Facebook will basically use a kind of proximity parameter to show it to people that are likely to pass your store, or people that are staying within the locality where your store is located. So that's basically it. I just did a rundown of some of the objectives. So now I'm going to show you how my strategy works. My strategy revolves around engagement and conversion. In fact, I use both of them kind of together in order to achieve a very low conversion rate. I mean, a very low conversion cost. So I use both of them together. Now, the reason I use engagement and conversion, in fact, most of my ads, my main objective is actually conversion. My main objective is actually to make sales. That's my main objective. But over times, I've discovered that if I just go straight for conversions, usually I will get conversions, but my cost of conversion is going to be very high. Let's say I'm spending $10 in a day, and I'm just going for conversion straight from day one of that campaign. I'm going for conversion straight. Most times I've come to find out that usually my cost of conversion revolves around depending on the price of the item I'm selling, it revolves around $2 upwards. But when I somehow combine my conversion with engagement, sometimes I get as low as $0.6 instead of the $2 or $3 that is going to cost me. Now let me explain to you how it works. Engagement will enable you to get likes, comments, and shares on an ad. Those things are very important. They are very, very important even when you want to run conversion. The reason is this: there is something called social validation or social proof. When people see an ad that has 1,000 likes or 2,000 likes or 3,000 likes, they are 10 times more likely to buy that product than an ad that has let's say 20 likes or 30 likes, even though both of them are promoting the same thing. So usually how I do this is, even if I want to go for conversion, I first of all run an engagement objective on that particular ad. Then after I've garnered like 1,000, 1,500 likes, I will then stop that engagement objective campaign and then start running a conversion campaign on the same ad. Now there is something you need to get clear here. Whenever I'm creating my ad, I don't create my post inside an ad. I create it as a separate post on my Facebook page. So I create it as a standalone post, just the same way you post something on your personal Facebook page. I create it as a standalone post on my business page. Now what happens is, when I'm creating my ad, at the last phase of my ad, I will just go to the part where you will either create a new post or use an existing post. I won't create a new post, I will use an existing post, and then go to my page and select that particular post I want to promote. The post is usually an image and a very long text or whatever, that is actually telling people about my product or my service. So I just make a very comprehensive post. It's more of a sales letter. I just create a sales letter, well formatted, well written sales letter, put it up on my business on my Facebook business page, and then with an image, everything, or a video, everything. It will just be like a post. If you go to my Facebook wall, you are going to see it there. So what usually happens is, when I get to the stage where I'm to either create a new post for my ad, I will use an existing post instead, and then select that particular post on my wall, on my business page wall, and then use it for my ad, both for my engagement ad and for my conversion ad. Now what happens is, when you run your ad that way, whatever likes that particular ad is getting when you're running an engagement objective campaign will still be there. It will still be on that post even after you've stopped running the ad. So let's say I'm running an engagement objective campaign on that particular post, using that particular post, and then I have like 1,000 or 2,000 likes. I will stop the engagement campaign. I will stop it entirely and then create a new conversion campaign. When I get to the part where I will either create a new post for that particular conversion ad or use an existing post, I will then go back and select that particular post on my wall that already has 2,000, 3,000 or 4,000 likes. There are some posts I've made, there are some ads I've run that way that has, currently as I'm talking to you now, they have up to 80,000 likes. And I get average 30 conversions average on that particular ad since 2019. So now what happens is, after I've gotten a lot of likes, shares and comments using an engagement objective, I will then stop it and switch over to my conversion. So when Facebook is showing my ad to conversion audience, that's the audience that are more likely to bring out money and pay for my product, they are seeing, those people are seeing that that particular ad already has, that particular post that is promoting that product I'm selling already has 3,000 or 4,000 likes. And because of those likes alone, people are always interested in buying that product, because that like is like a validation. It's like, people telling them that yes, we like this product. And on social media, everyone likes what everyone likes. That's why if you see a video or an article that has over 10,000 likes, you are likely to read it than an article that has maybe 50 or 100 likes. So that's actually the first stage of my campaign strategy, of my Facebook campaign strategy. If you don't use an existing post and you create a new post altogether, after getting all the engagement, if you want to run a conversion, if you want to create a conversion ad under that same post, you're not going to see it, because that post is only local to that ad you created it under. Like, it's only accessible to that ad you created it under. The only way you can reuse it is if both of them, if they have the same objective. If they have the same objective, you can duplicate it and retain the engagements on it. But if they don't have the same objective, is only local, is only accessible to that particular campaign. So note this very well. When you are creating an ad using my strategy, I'm going to show you everything in the subsequent step-by-step videos that follows this. But let me just sound it as a warning. When you are creating an ad, a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad using my strategy, don't create the post the same time you are creating the ad. Don't create it inside any particular ad. Create it as a separate post on its own in your wall, so that if you want to use traffic objective, you just go there and select it. If you want to use conversion objective, you just go there and select it. Whatever objective you want to use, you just go there and select that particular post, so that all the likes, all the engagement, everything on that particular post, they will be compounding. So to start with, I'm going to start with an engagement campaign. So now what we are going to do is we are going to choose engagement. So now that we've chosen engagement, you scroll down. When you scroll down, you are going to see post engagement, page likes, event responses. Just leave it. By default, it will be on post engagement. Post engagement means you want people to like your ad. You want people to comment, share, and all that. Now, let me also say something. The people that Facebook is going to show you an ad when you are running an engagement objective is actually quite different from people Facebook are going to display your ad to when you are running a conversion objective. Now, when you are going for engagement, Facebook will show you an ad to You know, there are those people on Facebook that will like whatever comes to their screen. They don't even read it. Most of them don't even read. They just like it. They just comment. In fact, you see some of them typing amen. That's to tell you that they are not even reading the content of your ad. So those are the kind of people Facebook is going to show you an ad to when you are running an engagement objective. They will show you to people that are likely to share, people that are likely to comment, people that are likely to like. So that's the audience Facebook is going to show you an engagement objective campaign to. But your conversion objective campaign, Facebook is going to show it to the people that have the real money, you know, people that have a history of buying things through Facebook. So there are actually two different people. When you are running an engagement objective, you might get sales, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 5 sales, but sales are not the main objective. The main objective is to get those likes, those comments, and those shares. And engagement objective campaigns are always cheaper than conversion objective campaign. So now that we've selected engagement, the next thing we are going to do is we click on next. You are not supposed to do any other thing here. The only thing you are supposed to click on is the objective you want to use, which due to my strategy we are going to select engagement. Now that we've selected engagement, we are going to click you scroll down, you will see a continue button. So you click on the continue button. So now that we are here, if you look very well, you will see, if you look very well here, you see 3 layers of you see 3 ad layers, 3 campaign layers. The first one is your campaign layer. The second one is the ad set layer. The third one is the ad layer. The first one is where you are going to just do a few things. The second one is where you are going to do the bulk of the work. Then the third one is basically where you select the post you want to use for your campaign. So this first one, what we are going to do here is, first and foremost, we are going to give it a name. So whatever name you want to use here, that's what you will enter. But usually I try to, you know, make sure that the objective I'm going to is reflected on the name, so that if you have a whole lot of ads, it will be easy for you to just know them through the naming convention. So I usually put in the name, the objective in the name. Then I also put in probably the date I created it, so that we'll know when I created that particular campaign. So this one, I'm going to name it engagement. I'm going to name it engagement. Now, if you sell multiple products, it's also good to, you know, reflect the product name, the product you're trying to promote on the name. So, but in this case, I'm just going to use the objective and the date. So 07/07/2021. So this is the name I've given to this engagement campaign. Now after giving it a name, you scroll down till the point where you will see campaign budget optimization. So you select it. Now let me explain to you what campaign budget optimization does. Campaign budget optimization is a tool in Facebook ads that enables you to create multiple ad sets under one campaign. Multiple ad sets. This one we are creating now is, for now, is a single ad set. It only has one ad set, which is this. But what this campaign budget optimization does is that if you select it, you can create multiple ad sets under this campaign and then run it. Then because you selected this campaign budget optimization, Facebook is going to push the bulk of your budget towards a particular ad set that is performing the best. So let's say you have 3 ad sets. under this campaign, and two of them are performing best, one is not doing that well, what Facebook is going to do, you don't need to worry yourself about your budget distribution. What Facebook is going to do is that Facebook is going to push the bulk of your budget towards those ones that are performing the best. Because when you have multiple assets here, they are all sharing the same budget, which is the budget of the main campaign. They are sharing the same budget. So once you've selected this campaign budget optimization, it will enable you to access some other tools, like it will enable you to use either a daily budget or a lifetime budget. I'm still coming to those ones. And it will also enable you to schedule your ad. It's very, very important. Scheduling your ad is very, very important. In fact, it's one of my top secrets, scheduling ads. And then another of my secret is actually this campaign budget. Most people, when they are running Facebook ads, they use daily budget. I don't use daily budget. It's a waste of resources. So I'm going to explain that to you as we go further. So after selecting your campaign budget optimization, you scroll down, you will see campaign budget. Now by default, it will be what you will have is daily budget. Daily budget means whatever you put here, that's what Facebook is going to spend every day. This is what they are going to be spending every day. So let's say you leave it at this $11. Facebook is going to be spending $11 on this your ad every single day. Now, I don't use daily budget. I use lifetime budget, and I will tell you why. So let's select lifetime budget. Now that we've selected lifetime budget, you can see the budget changed to 700. I will put it to whatever value I want, and you will put it to whatever value you want when you are creating your own ad. And I will tell you how to determine what value you want to put here. Now, the difference between lifetime budget and daily budget is this. After creating your ad, you specify your audience. Your audience is basically the kind of people you want your ad to be shown to by Facebook. Now, if you are using a daily budget, what Facebook is going to do is that they're going to do everything possible to make sure that they max out that your budget every day. That's to make sure that they finish that your budget every day. And by so doing, if peradventure a lot of your target audience are not online, didn't come to Facebook on a particular day, Facebook is going to keep on repeating your ad to the people that came online that day. And in doing this, you will find out that there is something called frequency, ad frequency. Ad frequency means the number of times your ad is shown to one particular person. That's the average number of times your ad is shown to each of your audience. Now, because Facebook want to exhaust that your daily budget, they might end up showing it to your audience an average of 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a day. Whether they're interested or not, they just keep on, showing it to them. I don't know if you've encountered a situation whereby you log into Facebook and on a particular day, Facebook is showing you one particular ad repeatedly. That's because the person is using daily budget. And the bulk of the person's audience didn't come online that day. Because Facebook is trying to max out his budget by repeatedly showing that his ad to those few audiences that came online that day. Now, what happens is this: you have a very high frequency and low reach. Reach is unique impression. You have a very high impression, high frequency, and very low reach. That means your ad will repeatedly shown to the same set of people. And Facebook charges you based on impression. They charge you based on the ability to show it to a Facebook user. So once it's shown to someone, Facebook charges you. If it's shown to one person 10 times, Facebook will charge you 10 times. But if you're using a lifetime budget and you say, okay, I want to run this very ad for 1 week, what happens is this: Facebook knows your ad will still be there for the next 1 week. They know that they can still show it to people for the next 1 week. What happens is that after setting your budget for that 1 week, basically you are going to, if you want to spend $10 every day, you are going to do 10 times. If you want to run 7 days, 10 times 7, that's 70. So you are going to put in $70 here as your lifetime budget for 1 week. Now when you do that, Facebook knows that they still have the chance or the possibility to show this ad to your target audience for the next 1 week. Now some days you did an average of $10 in a day for 7 days. What will happen is this: some days you will spend less than $10. Some days you might spend even $7. Some days you might spend $6.5. Some days you might spend $8. The reason is this: the bulk of your audience did not come online that very day. So Facebook will show it reasonably to the people that came, because they know they still have the opportunity or the chance to show it to your target audience the following day. So some days you are going to spend less than your average daily budget. And if you check very well, your frequency is going to be very, very low, because they didn't show it repeatedly to those few people that came online. They just show it to them maybe once or twice. And you are going to have a very reasonable impression, and you're going to have a very reasonable reach. Your reach is actually supposed to be less than your impression, but it's not too, it shouldn't be too far from each other. Let's say you have 10,000 reaches. You should be expecting to have something like 12,000 impressions. That means they showed it to your audience an average of 1.2 times. So once you've set your lifetime budget, what will happen is that those days you have low traffic. Those days Facebook has low traffic for your audience. They won't spend up to that your average daily budget. Then the days where a lot of your audience will come online, Facebook will go beyond that your average daily budget. But overall, when you run your ad using lifetime budget for a week or for a month, you find out that you will have better reach, better impression, better reach and better impression than if you are using daily budget. I've done the two. Like, the difference is glaring. The difference is too obvious. I can never use daily budget. My campaign strategy is lifetime budget. Even if I want to run that ad for 3 days, I'm going to use lifetime budget. And when you use lifetime budget, you can always indicate your start date and your end date. So another of my very important strategy is this lifetime budget instead of daily budget. So now that we've selected lifetime budget, let's say we want to spend $10 for 7 days. So we just put in $70 there. So we just put in $70 here. Now what is going to happen is after this step, after this campaign budget step, the next thing you are going to do is you are going to scroll down, and then you will see after campaign bid strategy. Don't do anything on campaign bid strategy. Leave it at lowest cost. That's the default option there. Then you scroll down, you will see show more options. Click on this show more options. Then you will see ad scheduling. So click on edit by the side of it. You select run ad on a schedule. This is very important. This is very, very important. In fact, I can't overemphasize the importance. Now, the reason why this thing is very important is, okay, let me explain to you what this does. What this does is it enables you to tell Facebook, okay, run my ad at so time of the day. Run my ad in the morning section, or in the afternoon session, or in the evening session. And one of my ad strategies is to run my ad only in the morning sections. Now, there are two major reasons for this. Over time, I've tried running my ad in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the night. I found out that my ad converts more in the morning section than in the afternoon or in the evening. So basically, the secret is that I run my ad from 6 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. After that, I'm done for that day. My ad stops running. The next day, it continues the same time again. In fact, sometimes, because I have daily target, this is the number of sales I want to make for each day. So sometimes, even by 11:30, 12 o'clock, I've achieved more than my daily target. Usually, I turn off my ads. I turn it off, and then the next day I turn it on, and it continues again. So you need to, that's what this run ad on schedule does. Now, the reason why, over time, I found out that the reason why my ad converts more in the morning than any other time of the day is this. In the morning time, people are more focused. People are more focused in the morning. So they are likely to pay more attention to your ad in the morning than in the afternoon or in the evening. By afternoon and evening, they're already getting distracted. The bad news, the good news have started coming in, and they're already getting distracted. So I run my ad only in the morning section when their energy level is still very high. You know, it takes energy to fill form, to order something online, to bring out the debit card or credit card or whatever, and enter it. All those things, they take a lot of energy. And after the morning period, people might not have the energy again to do all those things. They will say, okay, I will do it later on. And once they don't do it at that point in time, they might not do it again. So people's energy level are always very, very high in the morning. Where I got this idea from is I found out that when people send me an email in the morning, I'm more likely to pay attention to that morning email than if that same email is sent in the afternoon or in the evening. And I subscribe to a lot of newsletters. So I found out that I read the newsletters that are sent to my inbox in the morning than those ones that come in the evening. So that was how I actually tested running my ad in the morning section. And the results were like 100% improvement from what I was doing before. That was when I started running my ad only in the morning section. Once I'm done in that morning, once it's 1 o'clock, I'm done for that day. Now, another reason why I found out that running ads in the morning section work better than any other time is because if there are two people selling the same product online and one person schedules his ad to run only in the morning section and the other person schedules his ad to run all through the day, in the morning section, which is the most important time of the day for selling, Facebook will prioritize the ad of that person that scheduled his own to run only in the morning, because they know if they don't show it to the target audience in the morning, they will make money because they won't be able to show it again in the evening or in the afternoon. So they will prioritize that person's own that scheduled his own in the morning. They will prioritize his ad. So if both of them are targeting the same audience, once that their target audience come online in the morning, Facebook will prioritize the person that scheduled his own in the morning over the person that scheduled his own to run 24 hours. And once they have bought from one person, if they see the other one later in the day again, they won't buy again because they have already bought. So it's like a competitive race. Getting in there first is everything. So you select this. You select this run ad on schedule. Those are the only things you need to do here. Then you go to the bottom of the right hand bottom of your page and click on next. Now when you click on next, it will take you to this very page. That's the ad set page. So now that we're here now, what we are going to do is that we are going to name our ad set. So I'm going to name this one Facebook. So this ad set we are creating now is going to run on only Facebook. We are going to create another ad set that will run on Instagram. So we have two ad sets under this campaign, one for Instagram and one for Facebook. The reason why we are running different ads for Instagram and Facebook is because of this. The post we are going to use for this Facebook for this Facebook ad is going to be a post that is made on our Facebook page. Then the post we are going to use for the Instagram ad is going to be a post that is made on our Instagram page. The reason is this: if you use one post for both Instagram and Facebook, and that post is on your Facebook page, the engagements you are going to get on Instagram is not going to reflect on that page. It's kind of going to be useless over time. But if you have a separate post on Instagram and a separate post on Facebook, and then you are using them to run ad for each of their respective platforms, what is going to happen is that whatever engagement, like, shares and all that you are going to get on each of those posts is going to be right there, either on Instagram or on Facebook. So even after you've stopped running the engagement ad and you start running the conversion ad, you are still going to have all those engagements that you've garnered both on the Instagram ad and on the Facebook ad. So this is actually how my ad strategy works. I don't create one post, I don't create one ad and run it both on Facebook and Instagram. I create everything separately because they are actually separate platforms. The engagements you are going to have on Instagram is not going to count on Facebook, and the engagements you are going to have on Facebook is not going to count on Instagram. So I create my ad in such a way that whatever engagement I'm getting, they are going to count at the end of the day, especially when I start running my conversion campaign. So now this very first one we're going to do is going to be a Facebook. It's going to run only on Facebook. So that's the reason I named it Facebook. After we've finished setting up this one, we are still going to come back and set up the one for Instagram. They are actually going to be identical. The only difference is that one will run on Facebook and one will run on Instagram. And another difference is that one will use an ad, a post that is on Facebook, and the other one will use a post that is on Instagram. So after doing this, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to indicate our end date. So the start date and the end date. Now I usually do 1 week. I usually run my ads 1 week. So after this week, I will basically add another budget and then come back to this place and then extend the end date. When that ends, I will still come back again, increase the budget, and then I don't do monthly. I do weekly. The reason is this: I tried doing monthly. The result wasn't as good as when I do weekly. The ad was a little bit it was too relaxed. So weekly is somewhere in between daily and monthly. So my ads, I usually set them up to run, the budget run every weekly. So every week I make sure that I exhaust this budget, then I move on to another week. So we're going to select 1 week from 8th of June to 15th of from 8th of July to 15th of July. That's exactly what we have. So it's telling me that the start date is in the past. So what we can just do is to increase the time here. Now, after we've done this, it's still telling me to add my scheduling, but we are still coming to that. After we've set the end date, the next thing we are going to do is our scheduling. So this is where you do your scheduling. You can see that the vertical axis is weekdays, while the horizontal axis is time from 12 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now, what you are going to do is basically I run my ad from Monday to Saturdays. So if you want to run your ad from Monday to Sundays, you are going to come to this place, and well, whatever field you tick here is when your ad is going to run. Now, what I usually do is I select every day. So I select from 6 a.m. The first block here is 6 a.m. The second block is 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. So I run my ad from 6 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And you can see all these blue areas. These are the days your ad, the time your ad is going to run on each of these days. You can select whatever time you want. You can select whatever time you want. It's entirely up to you. But usually this is how I set up my own ad. Now, if I don't want to run this ad on Sunday, what I'm just going to do is come to this place and deselect Sunday. So the ad is going to run from Monday to Saturday. It's going to run from Monday to Saturday, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Just understand this is very simple. Now that we've done our scheduling, the next thing we are going to look at is our audience. We are going to work on our audience. Now we are going to create an entirely new audience. Now, the first thing you are going to do is you set up your location. So by default, what you have here is your entire country, whatever country you are in. That's what you are going to have here. So I'm in Nigeria. That's why I have Nigeria here by default. So if I don't want my ad to run the whole of Nigeria, I want it to run in some cities. So what I'm just going to do is I'll cancel this Nigeria, and then enter the city. Let's say Lagos. So you can see Lagos state, you can see Lagos city. So let's just select Lagos state. So you can see I have 8.2 million people. So now what I'm going to do again is, let's say I want my ad to run in Abuja. So I've selected Abuja. Now you can see this plus 25 mile, plus 25 mi means plus 25 mile. That means this ad is going to be shown to people in Abuja and anyone within 25 mile radius from Abuja. But I don't want it to do that. So I just want it to be shown to only people that are in Abuja. So I'm going to select current city. Now, if you look at this location, you can see people living in this location. So I'm showing it to people that are living in this location. I'm showing it to, if you click here, you can see other options. So I'm showing it to people that are living in Abuja or Lagos. Now, let's say I want to include Port Harcourt. I can then do Port Harcourt, River State. Ensure you always set this thing to current city if you don't want it to spill over. Now you can see I have Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, a total of 12 million people. Now, after I've set up my location, you can add as many cities as you want here. After I've set up my location, I will come to this place and set up the age range. If I wanted to start from people that are 25 years old to 65 years old, I set it from 25 to 65. But most people usually lie about some people usually lie about their age on Facebook, so you can just leave it at 18. But the age is very important, so sometimes you might just have to set them up. So now that we've done the age section, the next thing you do is gender. If you want it to be shown to only men or women, you select whatever one you want. Now after that, we are going to do our detail targeting. The detail targeting is very, very important. It's very important because this is what determines how much Facebook is going to charge you per impression. Whatever value, whatever keyword you use here will determine how much Facebook is going to charge you. There are keywords that are very expensive. The reason they're expensive is because Facebook charging method is based on bidding. So if there are more people that are targeting a particular keyword, that means there's a bidding war. And then the cost of that particular keyword will rise. It will go up. The cost of the keyword will go up because there are a lot of interest around it. So it's important to understand the impact of the keyword you are selecting on your budget. So now, for instance, let's say I'm creating this ad for people like you that are watching this video. So I want to target people that have interest in running Facebook ad. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to think of a way to target people that are going to be interested in this. And one of the easiest ways to come to the understanding that for people to run Facebook ad, they need to have a Facebook page. Yes, for you to run a Facebook ad, you kind of need to have a Facebook page. Now, for you to have a Facebook page, that means you are a Facebook page admin. So I can then search Facebook page admins. So you can see it here. What I will do is I will select this. So now I'm targeting people that are Facebook page admins in between the ages of 18 to 65, men and women in Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Lagos. So I have a 1.7 million potential reach. 1.7 million. Now, this 1.7 million, based on my strategy, is large. Usually I keep my audience somewhere in the range of 400 and 600. That's my core audience. I keep them in the range of 400 and then 600, so that it won't be too diluted. Like as it stands now is too diluted for what I want to do. So I have to find a way to reduce this number. Now, if I type another keyword here now, it's actually going to increase this number because I'm saying either this or the new keyword I'm going to enter. Let's say I type in social media marketing. That's interest. I'm trying to find a way to bring in people that are interested in social media marketing, because people that are interested in social media marketing are likely going to be interested in adopting my Facebook ad strategies. So now if you look on each of these keywords, if you look by the right hand side, you will know exactly what it's saying. This one is, there's a difference between social media marketing as a job title and social media marketing as an interest. So I'm not looking for social media marketing as job title. I'm looking for social media marketing as interest. So if I select this social media marketing as interest now, you can see that my number has increased from 1.7 to 2.5. So I'm not supposed to put it here, because what I'm saying is Facebook should target people that are either Facebook page admin or that have interest in social media marketing. So this is not where I'm supposed to put this thing. So I have to do what? I have to remove it. You can see that the number has gone back to 1.7. Now I'm going to use narrow audience. I click on this narrow audience and then type that my keyword, social media marketing. Now that I've typed it, I'm going to scroll down to social media marketing as an interest and select it. Now you can see that the potential reach has decreased. It's now 410, which is reasonable, which is the range I want it to be. Now that I've done that, I think these are basically the people I believe are going to be interested in this my ad. The next thing I have to do is okay, before then, let me just let you know that whatever keywords you are going to be using here is entirely up to you, because no one knows your product more than you. So if you've created a product or a service, you should be able to know the kind of people that are going to be interested in it. So I can't tell you this is the kind of people that will be interested in it. There is no generic way of coming up with your detailed targeting. There is no generic way for coming up with detailed targeting. You just have to understand people. You just have to fundamentally understand people that are likely going to be interested in your product or your service, and then find a way to key them into this detailed targeting field. So now after you've done that, you scroll down to detailed targeting expansion. You select detailed targeting expansion. When you select detailed targeting expansion, you can see that the number went back to 1.7. So don't bother about that. Don't bother about that. I will explain. I will tell you why you should not bother about that. But first and foremost, let me tell you why I usually use detailed targeting expansion. I usually use detailed targeting expansion because over time I've tried to run two different ads. And I compared the two results. I realized that ads where I'm using detailed targeting expansion, they always have 50% better conversion or 50% better engagement than ads where I'm not using it. Now let me tell you how this detailed targeting expansion, how it works. When we selected this detailed targeting expansion, our audience went from 410,000 to 1.7 million. Now it doesn't mean that Facebook is going to be showing your ad to this 1.7 million people. No, they are going to focus your budget on that 410,000 people. What they are going to do is whenever they see someone that is highly likely to be interested in your ad that is outside that 410, they will show it to that person. So that 410 is like a smaller circle inside this 1.7 million. So it's the core circle inside this 1.7 million. The reason is this: irrespective of how good your detailed targeting is, there are still people that you are not going to factor in. But Facebook knows everyone on their platform more than you. In fact, they know people on their platform more than the people on their platform know themselves. They use what you are doing on Facebook. They use your activities, your interests, links you've clicked on, and a whole that the kind of people you interact with, the kind of friends you have. They have gathered a whole lot of data points on each person on Facebook. So irrespective of how well you do your data targeting, there are still people that you are not going to factor in. So if you select this detailed targeting expansion, Facebook is going to make sure that you don't miss out on someone that is highly likely to be interested in your ad. But they are still going to focus your budget on that initial core audience, in our case, which was 410,000. But whenever they see someone highly likely to be interested in your ad, they will show it to that person. So if you don't select this, you are going to miss out on those people that are highly likely to be interested in your ad. But once you select this, they are going to factor those people in. So the essence of using this data targeting expansion is so that you don't miss, someone that is highly likely to be interested in your ad. So you shouldn't bother about the number bloating up. What you should bother about the initial core audience you set up. So now that we've selected our detailed targeting expansion, the next thing we are going to do is we are not going to use automatic placement. We are going to do manual placement. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to use under placement. We are going to use manual placement instead of automatic placement. The reason we are using manual placement is that this ad we are creating is only going to run on Facebook. So we need to specify the platforms where we want the ad to run. Now, since it's only running on Facebook, we are going to deselect Instagram. You see, after deselecting Instagram, you can see that our potential reach went from 1.7 to 1.6. Now, the reason you don't have Messenger selected is because this is an engagement campaign. So engagement campaign does not run on Messenger. If it's a conversion campaign, you will see that this Messenger will be selected. So now we're only going to have Facebook and audience network. Now, after that, the next thing we are going to do is to click on add. So now that we've clicked on add, we are going to name our ad. So since this one is Facebook, we are going to name it FB. We're going to name it FB, just so that we can keep track of things. So now under identity, make sure that the post you created, the post you want to use for this ad, make sure that the page is what is selected here. Make sure it's the page that is selected here. Make sure it's the page, because if it's not the page, you're not going to see that post. You'll be looking for it, you won't see it. So make sure it's the page that is selected here. The page where you have the post is what is selected here. Then after you've done that, you go to ad setup. Now under ad setup, you use existing posts. Don't create new posts, use existing posts. Now since you selected them, use existing posts, you go and select the post. You click here. So when you click here, you are going to go to Facebook. You can see Facebook, you can see Instagram. Make sure it's on Facebook, because this one we are creating is on Facebook. That's the only way you're going to see all the posts that are available on Facebook. So I'm just going to use this very video. It's a video with a post, and it already has 90 something likes. So I'm going to select it. Once I select it, I will say continue. So now that I've selected it, you can see I have a yellow triangle here, a warning. So it's telling me that the length of your video is not supported for the in-stream placement. You can either ignore this and publish your ad is going to run. Whenever you see a yellow warning triangle here, your ad is going to run. It's just a warning. But if it's red, that means it's an error. It's not going to run. So if it's red, make sure you go back and fix it. But since it's yellow, you can leave it, or if you want us to correct it, I know what it's saying. So you just go to this you go to the ad section and go to your placement. You go to your placement. You can see in stream. So you deselect this in stream. Once you deselect this in stream, you go back to your ad session. And then that's all. That's everything you need to do. You click on, you hit publish. So now that we've published it, you can see it's on review. So after some time now, Facebook is going to approve this ad as long as it meets their Facebook ad policy. So after we've created this Facebook ad set, we are going to create the Instagram ad set. Both the Facebook ad set and the Instagram ad set are almost the same. The only difference is that the placement for one is Facebook and the placement for the other. The placement for the Facebook ad set is on Facebook, while the placement for the Instagram ad set is on Instagram. And then the post we are using for the ad for the Facebook is made on Facebook, while the post we are using for the Instagram is made on our Instagram page. So to do that, what we are going to do is to create the second ad set here, which is for Instagram. You just go to this place and click on it. So you just go to the ad set, the Facebook ad set, and click on it. When you click on it, you will see quickly duplicate. Please don't use duplicate, use quickly duplicate. So click on quickly duplicate. So now that you've duplicated, you can see the duplicate copy comes with copy, while the original copy does not come with anything like copy. So this the duplicate copy, now we need to use it for the Instagram ad. The reason why we are duplicating it is so that we don't start the whole process all over again. We just make the necessary changes and continue. So you just name this one, you name it Instagram. You name it Instagram. Now the change you are going to make is on the placement. So on this placement, you are going to deselect Facebook. You're going to select Instagram and then deselect Facebook. So now that we've done this is basically all you need to do at this level. Then you click the ad for this Instagram. You click on it and change the name to Insta. Just for conventional purposes. So now you are going to have the next thing you would do is you go to identity, go to page identity, and make sure you select the Instagram page. Now that you've selected the Instagram page, the next thing you're going to do is you change this post. You remember this one is from Facebook page, so we're going to change it and select a post that is on Instagram. So you click on select this thing, then go to Instagram, not Facebook. You can see it's on Facebook now, so go to Instagram, click on Instagram. You can select whatever post that you've already created on your Instagram page, which you are going to use on this. So you select the post. I'm just using this one for purpose of this example. So you click continue. So that's it. That's everything. So you do what? You hit publish. So now that you've published it, you can see that we have two ad sets now, one for Instagram and one for Facebook. This one is running only on Instagram and is using an Instagram post. This one is running only on Facebook and is using a Facebook post. Now, whatever engagement you are going to be getting here is going to be valid on Instagram, and this one is going to be valid and compounding on Facebook. So when you want to run your conversion, you still run them the same way. When you want to create your conversion, you still create them the same way. So that's basically it. We've created these two ads using my strategy. You can see that both of them are in review. Now there is something else I also need you to know. Before you create ad on Facebook, make sure you read Facebook ad policy. It's very, very important. The one of the worst things that can happen to you as an entrepreneur, so as a marketer, is to get banned on Facebook. So if you read Facebook ad policy, it will enable you to know the do's and don'ts of advertising on Facebook. It will enable you to know what kind of products that are allowed and what kind of products that are not allowed on Facebook. It will enable you to know what kind of actions that are allowed and what kind of actions are not allowed. There are certain words you use on your Facebook advert. Facebook will ban you. So you need to read their ad policy for you to understand all these things and stay away from being banned. So now that we've created the ad, they are all waiting for review. So once they are reviewed and approved, they will start running. So this is basically the way my strategy for creating my Facebook ad. You know, this one, if you remember, this one is just for engagement. We are still going to create exactly something like this, but for conversion. In fact, the both of them are the same. The only difference is that when you are doing the one for conversion, you can use Facebook Pixel. If you have Pixel installed on your website, you can use Pixel. So that's basically the same thing. There is nothing much different.